This is all for you. It is not my fault. I did what I could. I don't love you. I don't love you more. Love you more.
What's up, everybody? Testing audio 1, 2, 3. So today we're not going to put music in the background to annoy people. That Cool Cat song. We're going to try to do the whole theory chat with no music in the background. So, what's up, Box, Lewis, Victor, Pizzazz, Melvin, MKL, Gamer, Jesse, Chrissy, Maria, Walgreen, Aaron, Cliff, Anna Vane, Steve, Bello, Eddie, Emmett, Baraka, Snoozer, Zomb Squad in the house. Let's see. Okay, so I am Where's Barry, or Barry. This is Theory Chat, and welcome to the RPD. Let's see some emojis. Let's start this chat off with a bunch of emojis, because we just got a new Resident Evil 3 remake trailer. It's coming out in less than 2 months, or less than 3 months. So let's, and oh yeah, and also we hit 50,000 subscribers. So let's see your mood in emojis in the chat right now. Anthony's got all the cool emojis. Great White with some hearts. Baraka with some sunglasses. Jason with YouTube doesn't like the ones that he sent, so you can guess what he sent. Smokey with the super chat. 279. That'll get me a new computer. All right, it's really creepy to be wearing. So hopefully when I start talking and stuff, the audio doesn't screw up, and but I can't talk with those headphones on. And okay, so we're gonna have some videos in this episode, so let me know about the volume on them. I didn't have time to test it. Sometimes we'll just go live, like when a trailer comes out, and we'll just talk live. But this show is not that. This show is I spend 3, 4, 5, 6 hours creating a presentation, going through everything, creating video. Like I think I created 17 videos or something for this. So it's a little more in-depth and a little more researched and a little more information than your typical video. It doesn't. Anyway, let's fix that. I don't like looking at that 49. So yeah, Resident Evil 3. I'm excited to talk about it because when I was coming up with this, the reason we were late, we were only like 5 minutes late. It's a miracle. I hope I didn't miss anything. So, how does this show work? You guys chat, but we have so much information today. So try to keep on the subject of the chat so that when I glance down, it's like flows within the show. Because a lot of people are going to be watching this tomorrow because it's, I guess people like these long videos to listen to at work and stuff like that. So a lot of people actually watch this not live. So I try to answer the questions that I can see if they're on topic. All right. Sorry. I heard the music coming out of those headphones. See, that's what happens when I don't put the headphones on. I forgot when I switched camera angles. Oh my gosh, look at all this trash here from fast food. You know the music's loud when you can hear it out of your headphones that you've thrown onto the ground. All right, so this is how you follow me on the internet. Today I had like 100 tweets. So follow me on Twitter especially, but I also post on Facebook and Instagram. Where's Barry B? And I was hoping we'd have more computer issues. All right. One of these days, I won't I'll have time to do this. If I actually could work the whole time, we wouldn't even have started until like 10 o'clock. But we got to get this out while people are awake here. So here we go. Join the Zom Squad. Check out the link in the description. So let's start off the show here. Now I'm gonna restart. What's up, everybody? My name is Barry, as in Where's Barry, and welcome to the RPD, home of my secret friend Nemesis and myself. This is Theory Chat. This is a show where we take all the little 2-3 minute videos, the tweets, the news stories, everything from the week, the month, whatever, and combine it all into an in-depth thing. Because on YouTube, I like doing 2 to 3 minute videos, give everybody the information. If they want more, they come to watch this show, and we kind of dig deep into everything. We look at all the different sources, things that I cut out of videos, things that people don't even have time for on other channels to do videos on. And the whole day today, I spent going frame by frame. So 11 o'clock, my alarm went off because I have a weird schedule now. And exactly at 11, I had an email from Capcom. Here's the trailer. So it's perfect timing. And then from 11 to now, I've basically been all day going through these screenshots, frame by frame, trying to find things. I don't know. So this is a quote from Famitsu magazine, I believe, from the last episode. While RE2 was a remake, true to the original, RE3 will take more liberties to the original material. It will also make changes to the story we already know, and then possible dramatic changes. I'm not sure the word dramatic was in there or not. That's why I put it in parentheses. A translator guy did say that word dramatic. So I just want to bring that out again, kind of remind everybody there's going to be some changes, and today we saw a trailer, so I think we're going to start by watching it. Oh, no, we're not going to start with watching because we have to talk about PlayStation Magazine. So this is a little complicated. Anyway, PlayStation Magazine comes out like 3-4 days, what was that, 5 days ago, something like that. And it's got an exclusive interview with the developer of Resident Evil 3. Peter Fabiano, you might recognize his face because he was actually in Resident Evil 7. And if you were like me, you watched that Sewer Gators video 200 to 500 times, and it makes you want to rip your hair out of your head. Because, oh my gosh, I watched that so many times looking for secrets, and you couldn't skip the cutscenes. It was... Those were the good old days when I started this channel. So Peter Fabiano, he interviews with this magazine. So you've got PlayStation Magazine. It seems credible, right? It's like, not only does it have the name PlayStation, it's called Official Magazine, and they get inside access. There's no IGN interview. There was nothing else. There was only PlayStation and Famitsu, but Famitsu gets everything. So I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is going to have all the juicy goosey inside of it. Then I start to read it, right? So I'm reading it. There's a section on the characters. There's a section on this guy, Murphy, and I'm reading it, and it's like Murphy was like the aliens guy, and he was in the cable car, and there was a horde of zombies, and I'm like, what? Did I play the game wrong? And just to give you some background on me playing the original Resident Evil 3, what do you guys think? I beat it we played through it 20 to 30 times in the last 3 months. So I'm pretty sure I would have known if Murphy was in the cable car shooting down zombies. So there was that. Then there's this other one where the author said that in the original game, every time you fight Nemesis, he comes back with a new weapon. Nemesis had a rocket launcher, and then he had tentacles later. I guess maybe that's the new weapon. So I'm starting to be like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then the big one up there, it said Project Resistance was canon, which canon means true to the storyline, which bonus modes are not usually, and especially ones with like random character. This is definitely like a side fun game with different characters from different games that are going to be in it. So it can't be that. So I didn't notice this until after I already posted a video, and that's what was really annoying to me. But so I tweeted, what the heck is up with this? And so Peter Fabiano responded to my tweet and basically said, I mean, it's on the screen there, but consider the comments in the article. And what that means, in my opinion, is that all the article outside of the exact quotes from him are possibly made up by the authors and are not credible at all. And I couldn't believe it. I was like looking at all the quotes that they had in there that they had written, and I assumed, oh, they must have had the inside access. No, it turns out I don't even know if they even sat down with him. I think they might have had a 2-minute phone call with him, because he only had like 5 quotes in the article, and the rest of it was apparently they made it up, or they had no idea what they were doing. And here's the thing, that when this happens, I'm curious because I want to know what's in this article. So what'll happen is I will contact the person who wrote the article. So when Games Radar had some article on RE7, I contact them. The writer gets back to me. Capcom, they have a blog. That writer, people know me through Twitter and through the channel and stuff, like secondhand. So they typically respond to when I ask them a question. So I'm looking at the article. There's no author. Like, what kind of actual journalism, magazine, whatever, doesn't tell you who wrote the article? It's bizarre. Even BuzzFeed, which is the worst place ever, where it's like top 10 things we just stole from other creators and then posted on our own. The author will not only, well, they'll put their name and their link to their Twitter and their link to everything. So now there's no author to contact. So, and then I didn't think, oh, I'll just ask Peter, I'll just ask the Resident Evil 3 guy. He'll never respond. And then he did, and this was huge to basically discredit the article. And yeah, it's not, so Resistance is not going to be canon. And so then let's go through the article and some of the things you might have seen. No mercenaries mode. The article said that. Everybody did a video on it. I mentioned it in my video. It's not credible. I don't, like, how many of you think mercenaries will be in it? I would say no, it's not going to be. It's going to be replaced by Resistance. And basically the author of the article assumed the same thing and then wrote it like it was a fact. Like and then 2 sentences later, there's a quote from the developer. So you feel like when you're reading the article, you're in a room with these 2 guys, and but you're not, because they did it through email or phone or whatever. And so that's not a credible answer. So I wouldn't say that was confirmed or anything right now. But I do not think it's going to be there. That being said, and this was the biggest thing. I do a bunch of videos on the channel, and people comment, and they were flipping it like, I never play mercenary modes, and it's fine. I think they should include as many bonus games, and other people like that kind of style, and that's fine with me. But the people who said they refuse to buy the game because there's no mercenaries mode, it's insane. You're a Resident Evil fan. You love Resident Evil. You've probably played Operation Raccoon City. Resident Evil 2 Remake was amazing, and you're not going to buy Resident Evil 3 because this stupid bonus mode isn't in it? Come on! Be better than that. So anyway, the same thing happened at Resident Evil 7. I'm not playing its first person. Guess what happened when the game came out? Every single person that said that bought it, played it, and then came back and commented and said, see, it sucks. I'm like, why'd you play it? I thought you weren't going to play it. Anyway, Resident Evil 7 is awesome too. So this is what Mercenaries mode was like. actually. Of course, the headphones break. And now, when I was a kid, I'd probably tried it like once or twice. I feel like it was hard, and then recently we tried it live on the stream. Is that too loud? Sorry. So we tried it on the stream, and I quit after like 30 seconds. So that's not for me. Maybe one day I'll learn how to play it. But it's cool. The characters are cool. Same thing with the what was it called? The Battle Extreme from RE2. That was not included in RE2 Remake, but it was in the original. So it kind of feels like same thing's gonna happen with Mercenary Mode. And I've saw some comments. Maybe they'll do it as a DLC or something. I don't think so, but maybe. And yeah, Mike makes a good point. You could unlock all the infinite weapons with Mercenary Mode. You had to like buy stuff and earn money and then pay for weapons, and then you could use them in the regular game or something like that. And that is actually, I remember why I tried to play it, because I wanted to earn those weapons, because it would help me with videos. And then you have to learn how to play it. So if you've never played it before, you have to teach yourself the map, just like all the other kind of single linear bonus games like this. But anyway, this is kind of what the gameplay looked like and stuff like that. We don't have to watch it. All right. So, only one true ending. That was another thing that came out of the article. That is true because it was confirmed by the developer quote. So let's go over real quick. And I know some of you know more than me about Resident Evil and the history and the lore and the games, but some people don't. And some people are like I would be if I never had a channel. And I play that game a lot. I don't remember everything. So we're going to kind of go over a few things that might seem easy to you. But we'll get through, and we'll be at the trailer here soon enough. So in Resident Evil 3, the original, you had a bunch of choices to make. And basically, there are two facets to the ending. So the first facet to the ending is, does Nikolai live or does Nikolai die? And that is determined right here at this choice. You can negotiate with Nikolai, and then he'll fly away and he'll be cool and he'll live on forever. And according to Resident Evil people, they claim there's some notes and stuff in other games, but they're not like the main storyline games. I kind of agree that he's probably still alive technically, but I don't know that there's a note in some game called Survivor. Somebody mentioned Resident Evil 5 might say something about it, but I couldn't find any exact information that told me he was still alive. Even that letter that's in the Survivor thing says maybe he didn't write it, and it's very confusing, but anyway, so that's one aspect of the ending. It doesn't change the video at the end. It changes nothing. It only changes in your mind. I know I saved him, or I know I shot him. And I always shoot him because it's fun. So that's one aspect of the ending that's not technically part of the ending, but it is part of the ending. So if there's one ending, it's going to tell us, did he live or die? So we're going to find that out. And again, I think it's going to be he lived. This is the choice that tells you what ending you're going to get in terms of video endings. And it's right at the end. You either push him off or you jump off this bridge. And if you jump off the bridge, then you are going to get the cool ending because Barry's in it. And Venom says Survivor is canon. And but the note in there, I don't know. There was some kind of thing that said maybe the note was not him writing it. I don't know. I couldn't go like 100% on that. All right, so here are the two endings. Let's just watch them now in case you don't remember. So this first ending is I believe, the Barry ending. And if you jump off the bridge, you can get the Barry ending. And you'll notice here that's, I always call him Steve, but his name's Carlos. He does a jump fist pump, and that tells you that you killed Nikolai. If you did not kill Nikolai and you let him escape, he does not do the fist pump. So
Look! Chopper's coming in! Yes!
I'm trying to make it full screen, but
You saved
sorry.
us.
I couldn't let you die.
Is it you?
Are you ready to finish this?
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the Barry ending, and here's the other version of the ending.
Jill! Over here!
I guess we're all set.
All right then, we're out of here.
Oh no.
It's here.
Yeah.
That's what Barry would say.
It's time to go.
Mustang says, would that blow up their helicopter? I do believe it would. So that is, those are the two video endings, and like I said, the Nikolai one. And as I said, Pete said there's going to be only one ending, but really they're kind of, if you notice there, it's basically all the same ending, you know. So it's not a huge thing. It's not like Resident Evil 1 that actually had like very different endings. This game basically had one ending except for Barry and Nikolai. So we'll find out, is Barry real? Probably. Is Nikolai alive? Probably. And even if Wesker really is dead, I don't want to get into that and the lava and everything, but if Wesker is dead, they do, and they don't want to create a new villain. They also killed the Bakers, so they're out. Nikolai could be a possible future villain in a future game if they keep him alive again here. This was the biggest one because the person who posted the PlayStation article on Reddit, they misread the article, and then other people made videos that said that this was a fact and it's not true. And that's the in-game choices. We just talked about a couple of them there. And these are the white screens that pop up. And the developer did not say they're not in the game. They just said there's one ending, and then the person confused it, said, oh, if there's one ending, there's not going to be choices. But like I showed you, only one choice really affects the ending. So you can have one ending and you can have multiple pathways to get there. Now, everybody's going to say when I say there could be choices, no way, why would a white screen pop up in 2020? They wouldn't have the white screen pop up. So look at this choice here. Fight with the monster or enter the police station. You can make that choice in real time. And in the game, it could possibly have different consequences. So you fight with the monster, then maybe he doesn't show up later. You enter the police station, maybe he breaks down a different wall. So I don't think that there's no choices in the game. I don't think this white screen's going to pop up, but I think there will be possibly different ways to complete the game. There were also, in the original game, is it one choice? Now I'm blanking, but I think it was one choice. It's, do I go to the newspaper or do I go to the restaurant? And whichever pathway you chose changed some of the cutscenes and where people showed up. There might have been two spots where that happened, because Nikolai shows up at the gas station, or Carlos does, and maybe it's one. Anyway, those were real-time game choices in the original. So I think they're going to keep some of those real-time choices. They're not going to pop stuff on screen, but I think there might be different ways. But again, nothing is confirmed. But just remember that article was wrong. I saw videos that talked about it, and that it was misread. And also, the article's not credible anyway, so that's another thing. But even in the article, it didn't say this. By the way, whoever wrote that article, do they have a degree in like what are their qualifications? I need to know. it's embarrassing how they wrote. It was terribly written, and the fact that they didn't use a lot of developer quotes to back up their information. They threw their own opinions into the article. I mean, it's just, it's. Oh my god! If they were in like school, they would fail out, or they'd like get suspended for lying in their paper or whatever. I don't know. All right. The article also mentioned that Jill's going to fight some worms, and we saw the gas station. We saw these other places. It's not credible. I don't believe them. They made it sound like they played the game, and I don't think that they played the game. Again, this stuff could be in there in the game, but don't listen to the article on that. And then here's just a quote I wanted to throw in because an actual quote from the developer. Wow, they actually had one in there. This Pete was talking about, is it an open world? And he said, no, it's not an open world, but you'll find that you'll be able to walk through areas and explore a bit more than the original. That's kind of vague. I think RE2 you could say the same quote for. You could walk through areas and explore maybe more than the original as well. So I think this is just kind of generally going to happen when you do a remake of a game in a new, bigger, better engine. And then here's a couple of, screenshots from the different areas of the city. And again, you're going to see everything looks linear still. So everything's blocked off by fire. There's like one path to go. There's cars blocking the path. There's an alley you have to go through. It still looks super linear through all of these. And just to mention real quick, look to the right of Jill there. You can see the clothing store. And in Resident Evil 3 Original, in order to change costumes, you had to get a key after you beat the game the first time and take it to the clothing store, and you go into the dressing room, and they had 4 or 5 different costumes. We talked about what they were last week. So then when Resident Evil 2 came out, Remake, they let you change it in the menu, and I don't know if you all tried this or know this, but you could change the costume whenever you want it. So you could play, run 5 steps in the RPD and then change your costume and then run and just constantly change your clothes, which I thought was weird, but I also hated having to get the key and walk to find it, so I don't know. But maybe if that store's there, they will maybe throw in some kind of costume change in there. Right now, I think the only costumes confirmed are the classic ones and these, and not sure how many costumes they're going to have. They had way more than I thought in the Resident Evil 2 remake, so I would think that they might add some more as we go along here, or maybe even later. I'm hoping they don't do like $5 for this costume. They did it for Resident Evil 0. They said like $2, $3, $4. It was really annoying. Here's some more shots of the city. And again, you can see, look, there's a fence, there's cars, there's one path. So I'm not seeing much exploration here. So maybe you can go back and forth between buildings or something if they have a couple, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of buildings open either. And you'll notice there's a lot more bright lights in this one. And that's because this is like the beginning of the apocalypse, and I guess the thought is all the power went out and everything got burned down and stuff in Resident Evil 2 Remake. So that's why you're going to see some different stuff here in the city. I even think they are going to make this city section a little, even if it's the same spot that was in Remake 2, that it might look a little bit different at least. But you'll see, look, all the lights are on, everything's bright, and there's actually survivors roaming around and running around too, besides just zombies. And so, in conclusion to the first part of the show tonight, PlayStation Magazine, big fail. So let's see. Let's go through the chat real quick. Resident Evil 0 visited some places from past games, yeah. Antivenin says, I hope survivors get in the way. It looks, so far in terms of survivors, we saw what do we see? 1 minute of gameplay, maybe no, 20 seconds of gameplay, and it was kind of like a real time. It was a cutscene, you know. She was kind of loading or whatever. You couldn't move, and the survivors kind of ran away. And by the time you took control of Jill again with your controller, the survivors were gone. So I don't know if they're gonna actually be in your way or in the area. I think they're just gonna be in cutscenes and kind of roaming around in times when you can't move. All right, so let's check out today's trailer, and actually let me real quick try to set up a full screen thing. Sorry.
Hey, easy, lady. I got you.
Who are you? What are you doing?
Name's Carlos, and I'm Sadie. I'm with the Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service, UBCS for short.
This city is completely cut off, isolated. We need help. My men cannot do this alone.
The town's crawling with those freaks. No chance of fighting our way out of the city. Why is she here? She's unreliable.
It's me he's after. I'll buy you some time.
Hey, wait! Wait, Jill! Jill, what happened? Come in!
All right, so there is so much stuff in that video to unpack, and guess what we're going to do right now? We're going to go through it, we're going to unpack it, we're going to pretend that that resistance thing didn't pop up at the end. So let's start with Nemesis, because Nemesis is cool. So here's a few links that you want to check out. Number one, you can go to Resident Evil 3 website official, and they have some character bios for Jill, Carlos, Mikhail, and the other bad guy with the silver hair. And the Capcom blog, they wrote a whole, that's the best one. Capcom blog gives you a lot of information on the characters. And then PlayStation blog, the guy who used to run the Capcom blog does PlayStation blog, and he wrote a little write-up on it. Not much extra stuff in there. I don't even think anything extra in there. And the main idea, because I think I left this slide out, but they said that Nemesis is going to be really smart. They said that he's going to make his own decisions. And I don't know exactly what that means. It kind of feels like it means there's going to be variation in the game. A lot of people in the original game, there, if you hadn't played it in a while, the enemies are randomized. So sometimes you go into a room and it would be crows, and the next time you play, dogs jump out. And it's kind of random like that. So maybe they're throwing in some randomization with Nemesis, or maybe he just has really good AI or something like that. And he's a lot smarter AI-wise than Mr. X, because they said he's going to be much more dangerous than Mr. X. I'm trying to remember. I tweeted the exact quote about it. What else did they say about him? Basically said he's going to be scary. He could appear anytime. You want to listen for him, stuff like that. And this, I just think this is really cool. So yeah, there's Nemesis in slow motion, just really awesome there. And now I feel like I'm missing a slide here. Why did it skip to that one? All right, there it is. Nemesis. This is what Nemesis looks like in that scene there. So, he's got this... I mean, people keep calling it a mask, but just take a look at this picture here and kind of... Look at his other parts. It looks like he was wrapped like a mummy. Does anybody else see that, or do you think it is a mask? I feel like he's wrapped up in like duct tape, and I don't know if that's to kind of hold him together so he looks more human and skinny or what. And a lot of people have actually commented to me today that throughout the trailer in different parts you see different things ripped off of him, and it looks like he's losing health throughout. So perhaps this kind of wrapping, while he's running, it starts to break away, and that's kind of how the mask will eventually just fall off because he'll be doing it. Or maybe there's a big reveal of the mask, like a real dramatic thing where Jill's like, oh, it's a mask thing, and then you see its horrible face, and then all you people see the nose, and then you're like, I want my money back. He has a nose. But I love this picture here. Now, here's another thing that I've noticed. I don't watch the Marvel superhero movies. I don't like them. And Nemesis, they really seem to be influenced by Marvel movies. I mean, even just look at this. Does this look like Resident Evil, or does this look like a superhero movie? And we'll see some other examples of that going forward. So I'm excited for everything. I'm not a huge fan of superhero bad guy here. But yeah, we'll take a look at some other stuff. And here's just another shot of him with the mask on. Jill hits him with the car. And there's a lot of different thoughts about the two trailers we've seen and what, how the timeline works. Like, they're on top of a parking garage in a helicopter shot, and then here she knocks him off. Is it at the same time? And then she's on a roof later. Is it the same roof? So the trailers kind of throw you off, and they change the dialogue. So in the first trailer, you see Brad go, no, and the helicopter blows up. But that might be to throw us off to think Brad was in that helicopter. But sometimes in these trailers, they'll move the voice to a different section. And they did that with one of the past trailers. I can't remember if it's 2 or 7. And then when the game came out, I'm like, oh, that dialogue was in a different place. So what do you guys think about this mask? Do you think that... I mean, do you like the way it looks? Do you like that he's kind of going to be slowly revealed? Or do you think it's kind of cheesy and he should just be Nemesis the whole time? And then it sounds like somebody is complaining or saying that the nose is fake and it's not going to be in the game. Temur Kren says Nemesis looks 10 out of 10. Darius says, love how Jill gets tossed around. Steve says it looks bad A, likes the slow reveal. Exodia says spooky looking. Chevy says amazing. Clay says the mask is from the nose job. JT says Nemesis should be Nemesis the whole time. Antivenom says it will get damaged and fall off. Yeah, we'll see later here in a clip that things will be off. And I'm assuming that Nemesis burned down Jill's apartment or something, because it's in the fire and everything there in the beginning. Luis says, I hope Jill makes the moaning noises. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be in there. Brett says, I feel most of this is the opening. I feel like they showed us a lot of the cable car stuff too. But yeah, all the Nemesis stuff I think we've seen, it might be the first interaction with him. But yeah, who knows? And then Steven with the $5 super chat, thank you. Slowly changing every time. Right about the flamethrower. Yeah, we'll get into some of that. hope this is the right order. Okay, so here's a couple screenshots that were not official Capcom, and they came off of the PlayStation blog. I don't know why they send some images to some other people and they don't send them to the others. So this is Nemesis grabbing, and this is classic Resident Evil 3. He grabs you and he picks you up. I don't know if you guys remember that, but basically if you get close, he'll pick Jill up and you got to mash the buttons and it's really annoying and you break your controller and your buttons break, and then he still kills you anyway. So it looks like that's coming back here in the game. And this is what it looks like. So that's what it looks like in the original game when he gives you the choke slam. And it's interesting if we're going to have cool, death scenes. And we'll talk about that with the Hunter too. But that's one of the cool death scenes in RE3. I feel like RE2 didn't really have that many graphic ones. Maybe I'm so good I never died. Just kidding. I died 1,000 times. But nothing in Resident Evil 2, from a death scene standpoint, at least from the zombies, didn't really impress me. What do you guys think? Were there any good death sequences in Resident Evil 2 Remake? I'm kind of going on a blank. Drawing a blank right now. The Ivy did a good one. What did the Ivy do? Oh, it opened its mouth and it ate you, right? Yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, so what did we just say? Well, it skipped the freaking screenshot. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna kill this computer. Alright, maybe it didn't. Alright, that's supposed to be there. So, here's the other screenshot we got, and you can see that Nemesis is using his rocket launcher as a melee weapon, and he's hitting Jill with it. So he's got the grab as an attack. He's got this, I guess, hitting you with a weapon as an attack, unless it's a cutscene. And Steven says the launcher is bigger than Jill. Yeah, it looks about to be about the same size, maybe a little shorter, but just as wide. And by the way, if you were on that last episode of Theory Chat, I told you the trailer was coming out January 15th. I was one day late. Boom. Yeah, so I thought this screenshot was cool. Someone said it's hilarious. Raquel said his clothes are falling apart. Yeah. You're tearing me apart. And the other weapon that you'll remember from Resident Evil 3 Original is the tentacle, which he gets at least at the clock tower, because at that point, he's always knocking you over, right? So this is what it looks like. That's all they gave us on the tentacle there. You can see it there, and it's retractable, so it's kind of sticking out of his elbow. You can see in another screenshot later. And he throws it out, and he does the scorpion grab. It kind of grabs you, knocks you over. And that's really annoying because he can hit you from far away with this. So Mr. X, you just had to be one step ahead of Mr. X. But Nemesis, he can hit you while you're running away. He can throw that thing. And the Capcom official blog said he can use the distance to either strike you or to grab you and pull you. So he might have an attack that whips you and hurts you, and he might have a grab attack. That's what I got out of the PlayStation thing. Yeah, I kind of want to do a video and a whole theory chat on Nemesis at some point and look at the original Resident Evil 3, because I'm trying to think what other attacks he had in Resident Evil 3 Original, because I think they're going to try to mimic those again. And then here is the rocket launcher from the original. So I guess this slide was supposed to come earlier. So hopefully you see it here, right here. He shoots that missile, and then he gets mad, and he breaks his rocket. So, in the original game, he had 5 rockets or something, and you basically just run back and forth, and sometimes he missed. Like, he had bad aim in this section. And then he breaks his rocket launcher, and he runs away. And he runs at you to melee attack you, I mean. So, I wonder if that would be something we can do in the new game. If we can make him run out of ammo or stop using his rocket if he has it. Although, we'll talk about the other weapons that could be in the game later. He may only have the rocket in certain situations and certain encounters, or even just in a cutscene or something like that. So, in the original game, one of the strategies is you run back and forth to make him blow up his rocket launcher. I don't remember, is this true? You can shoot the rocket launcher and break it? Or at least Carlos can do that in a cutscene. And here is another look at the rocket with Nemesis aiming it in your face. Look how big that is. That's crazy, huh? And now you see another new aspect of this rocket launcher here, and that is it's got a laser sight on it. Somebody was mentioning he doesn't have a right eye. So how does he look and use the laser sight? But I don't quite understand that, because it looks like he has a left eye, and also I think the laser sight points for you. I don't know. So what do you think about this? So far, maybe we should wait till the end, because there's a lot more on Nemesis before we get too scared of him. But the laser sight, oh my gosh. And then here's kind of the render of him, and he just looks, like, you know, like that when those ladies, like, in like the 20s, they wear that dress and they like an hourglass kind of thing, but their waist is like squeezed together. It's just a weird, you know, he's got his waist all, I think he's wearing Spanx or something, or a corset. And then on his heart, he's got like an artificial heart or something there. And yeah, that's just a different look at his rocket launcher there. Oh, and he has a nose. And here is a scene from the first trailer with a helicopter blowing up. There's fire everywhere. This could be a possible place where Nemesis uses his rocket. And if the rocket can blow up a helicopter, like, it has to insta-kill Jill, right? They can't make it like Resident Evil 3 Original, where she can get hit with 3 rockets before she dies. Like, if he hits you with a rocket, they can't make you live. Does anybody disagree with that? Does anybody think that they might just make it video game logic and it won't kill you? So that begs the question, how do we dodge it? And we'll look at some of that later. And now here's a screenshot that this one was funny just because nobody wanted to believe it was a flamethrower. And then there's just, you can see the pressure gauge on it. And you can see the flame coming out of there and then getting bigger, like he swept across. And then Kat, who works for Capcom, confirmed that it was a flamethrower. And people still didn't believe me. And then, yeah, now they believe us. So the flamethrower, again, we haven't seen much. We've only seen a couple trailers, but it looks like this is almost like his main weapon here. And let's take a look at it in motion. Look at that thing. Look at that pack on his back. It's crazy. I want to watch that again. Look at the giant. Is that gasoline? Can you shoot that? Is that how you're going to stop him once? You got to hit him in the back there? Scoob says, not digging the giant backpack reminds of RE5. Dark Nemesis says should be insta-kill on the rocket. And now this is something that I didn't notice until later in the day, but just watch and tell me this is not a Marvel movie. And that kind of annoyed me because Resident Evil should be an indie horror, in my opinion. Like Resident Evil 7 was kind of indie horror, and Resident Evil 2 Remake was pretty kind of tame. There were some big monsters in it here and there, but this is just like this is just crazy. I don't like this. That's the wrong button. Look at him. He flies out of the ground through a roof 20 feet in the air, and watch how he lands. And he's got all the flamethrower and everything. I mean, that's not what I like in Resident Evil, but I think the game's going to be awesome. Anyway. But I like my bosses to be less jumping 500 feet in the friggin' air. And I actually thought that he had rocket shoes on, but actually those lights that are actually next to his shoes that look like it, that's his flamethrower. That's the fire coming out of the front, and there's some buttons on it. But look at that, man. Through this ceiling. That is craziness. So you can only imagine how big he's going to get. Like you guys were saying, Birkin kind of got bigger and crazier. You can imagine. Alessandro says all tyrants can jump like that. Did Mr. X jump like that? Oh, Tyrant did that in RE1, so it's probably, yeah, it must be related to the game. I'm just looking at it through, I just saw that and I was like, Marvel. So we got to know, how are we going to dodge the guys? And in that article, Pete actually said, we didn't tell you there's a dodge button yet. And he basically said there was, without saying it. But take a look at that again. And we talked about this last time. How's this going to work? Is it going to be, are you going to have infinite dodge? Is it going to be like a meter where you can only dodge once every 3 minutes? Is it going to be a button sequence? Is it going to be a one-button dodge? There's a bunch of different questions about the dodge that I'd like to find out more about. I don't know when our next stop is going to be on that, but sometimes they release gameplay videos. So trailer comes out today. There's a conference starts on Thursday. You might see IGN and these other companies get to play the game for 20 minutes. And so that might be coming up. So don't stop, following Resident Evil. Don't. Last time after the trailer, everything there was no news for a while. This time we might have something in the next couple days, even more. Some gameplay of the stuff maybe you see in the trailer. That would be neat. Rant says dodge needs to be like Devil May Cry 5, where you have to time it. Yeah, so timing would be another issue with the dodge as well. I'm hoping, and I don't think it's going to be, but if there are freaking quick time events to dodge the rockets or something, that's going to drive me nuts. And, yeah, people are mentioning they haven't showed Nemesis run yet. They think that might be one of the questions because Mr. X walked and he still kind of caught up to you. So, what if Nemesis is theoretically, you'd think he'd be faster than a human. And then, the gas station is there, so the Stagla gas station. So maybe the article is right about that. All right. The Hunters, guys. Now, the translators of the Famitsu article said that the Frog Hunters, which are called Hunter Gamma, I think, are not in the game. And these aren't the Hunters from Resident Evil 1 either, right? These are Hunter Alphas. And I'll leave it to the LWs to tell us what that means and what the difference are. These are a little bit stronger, I'm guessing. But check out this quote. The hunters released in Raccoon City are less prone to leaping, preferring reptilian movements that make them harder to pin down. And a frog is a frog amphibian? All right, frog's an amphibian. So jumping was the annoying part about the hunters. Or this is Hunter Beta. Okay. Hunter Alpha Resident Evil 1. So the jumping in Resident Evil 1, is that right? the enemy jumped when you hit the button. Like the game cheated. It knew you hit the button, and then it made the enemy jump, and it was super annoying that they were jumping all over the place. And then in Resident Evil 3 original, you fight the hunters, and you shoot, and they jump, and you're constantly dodging. Like, it's hard to dodge in that game, except when you're fighting like these hunters and stuff. It like auto dodges almost for you. So I think if they're going to get rid of some of the jumping, the one thing I want them to keep in there, just because it's so cool, is the jumping death scene where they chop your head off. I think that is one of the cool parts of Resident Evil, so I think they should keep that in the game. But look at his claws. I feel like that might look a little bigger. I didn't like review all the models of hunters, but those claws are big, and his arms are a little bit smaller or something. And I feel like he looks more agile. But reptilian movements, I don't know what that means. Are they going to be like slithering on the ground? Are they going to be climbing on walls? Are they going to be like sneaking around? And let me go back to the picture. Oh, yeah, you can't see the other hand. You can in the trailer, but do you think it's bigger on the left hand? I can't remember. What about the eggs? We won't talk about the eggs, but you probably saw my video, and then you probably saw another video of somebody who pretended that they discovered it like a week later. Oh my gosh, eggs! What? You obviously saw that before. And the dodge technique, again, like I said, in the original, it's a lot of dodging on the hunters and a lot of dying on the hunters. And if it's a dodge button and it's not the way in Resident Evil 3, it was like almost like an auto dodge, but also you pressed a button. And in that clip we saw, it looked like a button dodge. So I don't know if it's how they're going to do that, or if they're just going to make it maybe more like Resident Evil 2 Remake than they did Resident Evil 3 in terms of the hunters jumping around and you spinning and sliding and all sorts of stuff. Wish I had a clip for that there, but I don't. Oh, shotgun. So Jill's got a shotgun. We knew that before. And then this is just this is her shooting a zombie, and look at where the things hit. It's like she aimed it, and they spread so much that they didn't even hit the zombie, and she looks so close to it. So the shotgun might even be even more close range at this point in the game. And we think that, oh yeah, the shotgun here has a stock on it, so maybe that would make the aim easier or something like that. But that we talked about this before, that there's going to be some different upgrades for the weapons. And oh, that's something we didn't talk about, and that's, will Nemesis drop these upgrades? Before I saw the trailer, I thought Nemesis, and we also didn't talk about that. What if Nemesis has other weapons besides the flamethrower? A lot of people are guessing he'd have a minigun. He might have some other weapons as well. And I was wondering, maybe if you defeat him, instead of dropping like a case of first aid sprays, maybe he would drop a part of his weapon, like the stock of his shotgun would break off, and you would take that. That would be one way to do it. They could still make it so that he just drops things. I feel like it doesn't fit into this 2020 world. But, yeah, that's another question I wouldn't mind knowing the answer to before the game. Some stuff I don't want to get spoiled on. I want to kind of discover it in the game. But some stuff like the dodge button and some other things I'd like to know before. Rick says, I'm thinking you beat... he finds another airdrop weapon. You mean Nemesis would pick up weapons across the city that Umbrella drops via helicopter? Louis says the outfit changes a lot. She had elbow bands and Star's badge. Well, we talked about in the last episode, she's going to have to go find her badge and her gun. We think that's going to be part of the thing. So I don't think she's going to start the game with the badge or her classic gun, and she'll get that later. The bandage might be from if she gets attacked by Nemesis. But other people were saying Nemesis's clothes are changing, and maybe there's some damage thing. Did Resident Evil 2 Remake show damage on the players? Like, if you got bit in the arm, would you have a bite mark? I feel like you did. Yeah, I don't remember. Raquel said yes. Steven said yes. Yeah, so maybe they'll do stuff like that. Maybe that has to do with clothing too, a little bit here. And yeah, just more lights and shops. Oh, there's the clothing store right there. Now I see what I tried to read that. I thought it said cash checks, but it says clothing, and there I can see the dress now. That's so funny. I looked at that screenshot 1,000 times. I never saw the dress store there. All right, let's talk about Carlos. Here is what Capcom has to say about Carlos. You'll be playing as Carlos at various points throughout the story, providing more background on Carlos himself. His viewpoint offers a different perspective on events as they unfold and provides additional details on why Umbrella people were dispatched to begin with. And we see him in the previous trailer say, "What's wrong with Umbrella?" And pretty sure he's kind of naive and he doesn't realize what's happening, and he'll probably slowly discover it as we move along throughout the game. Welcome, Mr. Anderson. If you guys are enjoying the show, be sure to subscribe and click on the thumbs up as well. And then various points. So we've seen him in the hospital, and we see that we see actually gameplay in the hospital because it says operating room. So we know he's in the hospital. We also are assuming he's in the RPD because we've seen some cutscene footage of him at the RPD. So that might be 2 sections. There might be another section. What's up, Dart? Welcome to Crimson Army. And what else did I want to say about Carlos? Oh, so Carlos has a rocket launcher. Did you guys know that? This is there are like 3 frames in the video. I didn't see anybody else post this online today. So there is a RPG or whatever. I don't know what that is. What is that? The rocket launcher from Resident Evil 1? And Carlos has it. So at some point, this is in this part of the trailer, he's running and he's there to save her. So basically what probably happened was Nemesis was about to kill her, and then he shows up and he rocket launches him, and then he chucks it and grabs her and leaves. So that could be what happens here. So one of the questions I have is, how is Nemesis going to run away? Mr. X kind of took a knee for 30 seconds and then started coming at you again. How is Nemesis going to run away? Is it always going to end in a cutscene? Like, is he going to, the first encounter, you do enough damage and then he shows up and he shoots the rocket, now it's cutscene and Nemesis runs away? You know, how are they going to transition? How do they make an unstoppable guy who can jump 30 feet in the air and slam dunk on you and grab you with a tentacle and shoot you with a flamethrower? How do they make him run away? Like, will he just die game-wise, like lay on the ground and he's unconscious and then you leave and then he comes back later? That's one of the big questions that I have. It's not super important because we know he's going to come back and try to get us again at different points, and we're going to guess that he's going to transform. That's nothing confirmed on that, but the original game he did it, and they're going to follow the original. So he might get a little bigger, and probably at the end will turn into that monster thing again. I didn't like that. First of all, I never even knew that was the same thing when I was a kid, the same creature. But I don't know how he gets bigger. That's one of my problems with Resident Evil games. Like Lucas Baker, how did he turn into that thing? That's why I like Jack Baker, because Jack Baker turned into a monster too, but the Jack Baker fights where he's human. And then this is so we also know that Carlos is headed to the RPD, and Jill is in contact. So he meets Jill, I guess, when he saves her. That's when they first meet because he introduces himself. And for some reason, they're trying to find the STARS office, and Jill might be guiding him there, or told him to go there. They're looking, or maybe Nikolai said they got to go there, or there might be somebody on a radio. There's a radio in the STARS office, and it's Carlos and Tyrell look like they're going there. And then this actually shows them in the STARS office, and this is a picture that's supposed to be the STARS office, but it's widescreen. The other picture it's the same angle here, but it's turned. It's from the trailer, and you can definitely tell it's the STARS office from that angle. And I guess he is a computer like hacker. They have some bio on him and the other characters on that Capcom site. So definitely go if you haven't gone, type in Capcom blog and click on it and read the Resident Evil 3 article. It's got a lot of backstory on some of the characters. What was I gonna say about in the original? This guy dies. Expecting the same thing there. But there is a communication room in there, but it does kind of look like maybe they're here for other reasons, and Nikolai might have sent them or something like that. Oh yeah, so he's there with Tyrell. So let's say you play the game as Carlos at the RPD. Like, are you going to have a partner? Is he going to be next to you shooting as well? I would say probably not, but that's you see them there together. The other thing I just thought of right now was that he's going on the computer and he says like, it's going to take me an hour to hack the code. And then Carlos is like, I'll go do something by myself while you hack the code. I think that would be more likely to happen than to have two characters at the same time. But we see in the cutscene that Jill and Brad are together at the same time running away. We see Jill and Carlos are at the same time running away. We see Carlos and this guy. Could they do some kind of paired up thing? Maybe. Probably not. Probably all cutscenes. All right, now let's move on to a new area of the game, sort of. Before, the game had a cable car, which is like a trolley, like above ground. Now they've kind of modernized it to be a subway system. And I think we may have seen the subway or heard about the subway in some other games in Raccoon City. So I think it kind of fits. And just FYI, that umbrella ad there says, like, we've got you covered in every aspect, making your life better. And it's a guy holding an umbrella over someone else. And that reminded me of Carlos, who, the world doesn't think Umbrella's bad. The world thinks Umbrella's helping everyone, and they're making people healthy, and they're curing things, and they're great company. That's kind of maybe the general view of it, and that's why Carlos is like, what's wrong with Umbrella? They're good. I work for them. They pay me and we're here to rescue people. Like, they wouldn't they wouldn't be paying me to rescue civilians if they were bad, right? But as we've talked about before, it's probably some kind of publicity stunt type thing, and I think that's something that we're going to learn in this game a little bit more than we did in the original game, is exactly, and that's what the Carlos thing said on the article, but exactly what Carlos knew, didn't know, and what Umbrella did, because I'm thinking Umbrella even had a helicopter come to rescue Jill at the clock tower, to rescue civilians from that clock tower, and Nemesis shot it down, but I feel like Umbrella wanted him to shoot it down, like it was all fake. Ludin said Resistance, that's the co-op part, yeah. Well, I don't think it would be co-op like with a partner, like another player, but sometimes in these games they have like two people at the same time. Did they do that in another Resident Evil? Maybe they did it in Resident Evil 6. All right. So the subway, let's just take a quick look at some of the stuff here. Redstone Street, I didn't know exactly what that would mean or something like that. And then, so here's the part of the trailer, and basically what happens is Nemesis is like, stars, and Jill and Carlos are there, and so she pulls down the gate and slides under it. So in the subway, she's like, Carlos, run away, he's after me. So she might fight him, encounter him down here in the subway. Maybe she runs away. This is another point where I was thinking Nemesis is going to get hit by a train somehow, and that's going to, oh, now he's gone, and now we can relax and walk around again. That's what I think is going to happen. And here are the Umbrella people, and you can see they're looking at Jill like she's bad news. They don't trust her. Nikolai even says it in the trailer that he doesn't trust her. And Carlos probably starting to form a friendship with her a little bit, so there's going to be some kind of struggle there. Here's Jill on the subway. Here's Big M on the subway. And then this was the picture that was interesting. So a lot of people I saw the blue shirt, like you could see that blue shirt, Gene guy. And people are like, it's Marvin Sandwich or Martin Sandwich, which is a character from Resistance. And then they're like, if he's in the game, Resistance is canon because of that stupid article. And so you can see it's not Marvin Sandwich or whatever. And it's Justin Bieber wearing a jean jacket instead. But Jill's mission or thought was she wanted to collect, I believe she says this as dialogue in the first trailer, she wants to get all the civilians to the train so that they can escape together. Yeah, what do you think is going to happen to these civilians, though? So in the original, just Carlos and her are on there on the train, the trolley, and Mikhail's on the back. And Nemesis shows up on the train, and Mikhail kind of takes him out. So I'm assuming the survivors aren't going to survive. So that'll be interesting to see because, yeah, this is the first time that, in the original games, they didn't have survivors, the original 3, all together like this even. But there are multiple train cars, so the back train car might break off, stuff we've seen in movies before. And then this is a picture. The Residents of Evil had a good picture. They said that looked like the girl from Resident Evil 1, the movie, and Bruce Willis. And then there was a picture. There's always a picture to match another picture. That's how full the internet is of stuff. I thought that was pretty funny, but I didn't want to pop it on the screen here. There's Nick. And then these are the little profiles they have on ResidentEvil.com. The site is hard. You have to go to ResidentEvil.com, then you have to click on Resident Evil 3, then you got to put your age in, and hopefully you didn't click on Japan. Anyway, you can go there and read these, but again, Capcom blog has better write-ups. It tells you all this and a little bit more. And a lot of people are freaking out because they changed his last name started with a V before a V. I don't even remember, a different letter, and it's just like a Russian versus it's some kind of translation thing. So this is what they've made his name in this game, and I think in the original it might have started with the letter V. And yeah, nothing really jumps out from these little bios either. The Jill one has been up forever. And that one kind of told you some of her backstory, which was cool. But, these people's... Oh, the letter Z. Yeah, that's right. It was Zinovev. Brett says, looks like they're looking at a fire in the next car. Let's go back to that real quick. What's up, Mike? Welcome to the Crimson Army. No, because in the other car... well, maybe they are somewhere. But in the other car, you've got... The Umbrella people are talking like they're planning, like, should we even take these survivors? Probably saying stuff like that. And I don't have that screenshot in here. It's on the other one.
Welcome to the family, son.
Oh, you mean that one? You're saying that's the fire one? Oh. Well, Nemesis is going to be burning a lot of stuff, I guess. What up, Jacob? Welcome to the Crimson Army. Thank you guys all for subscribing and clicking on that thumbs up. All right, here's Mikhail. That's the new screenshot. You can see he's injured, and probably similar things going to happen on the train with Mikhail kind of sacrificing himself. Let's see. Mission to rescue civilians. Yeah, this is kind of saying that he's a good guy. And then we've got this guy Murphy. We hadn't talked about him. Pretty sure Nikolai shot him in the first trailer in between some comments. What's up, Chopper? Welcome to the Crimson Army. And I just love showing this clip, so we're going to watch it again.
Don't make me do this, Murphy. I don't want to shoot you. Kill me. I finished. Not human. Wait, we don't have to do this. Please hurry. Before I lose conscious. Before too late. Kill me! Yeah! Murphy. Why? No. No.
Carlos!
So that is how. That is one way that Murphy dies. The other way is Nikolai shoots him. But so that's just, again, there's two different cutscenes for Murphy dying and two different ways to die depending on your choices in the game. So that just kind of ties us back to, would they have any kinds of choices like that? Anthony said, what if they reward you for saving survivors? Then it would be Die Hard, which is the best Christmas video game of all time. Nobody likes that joke. I say it every Christmas. But Die Hard Trilogy, who had that? That game was awesome. And one of them was to save civilians. And also, isn't that what Mercenary Mode is, too? All right. This is what some of you have been waiting for. I don't know why. According to the remake producer, Dario will return and play a bigger role in the remake. And we finally see the new Dario. This is him. He's a little, might be a little older, might be a little trimmer. Kind of still looks like a truck driver, sort of. And his family has been murdered. That's what the they talk about him in the article too. His family's been murdered. He watched the zombies kill his family, it said. So maybe his daughter won't be in a game, but well, let's watch what the old Dario did again.
Welcome to the family, son.
Okay, we've got to get out of here.
What? What do you think you're talking about? I just lost my daughter out there. How dare you tell me to go back outside?
I'm sorry about your daughter, but there isn't gonna be any rescue. We have to get out of here.
No! I'm not going anywhere. I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters. Now leave me alone!
And just some background on Dario. It's a me, Dario. He always wanted to be a writer, but his mom, was it his mom? I think it was his mom, was like, you'll never be a successful writer, get a real job. And so he died not being a writer. That was kind of some of his story in the original. Seek said it looks like this is the same little beginning section. Yeah, it looks like a little stairway there and some boxes. Somebody said, oh, what if things from the regular game unlock things in Resistance? And also vice versa. What if something you do in Resistance would unlock something in the regular game? That would be kind of crazy, too. What was I going to say about Dario? And then this is from the original trailer, and there's some survivors running around, and I just assumed this was Dario and his daughter. Kind of looks like a brownish coat, and that's kind of what Dario wore in the original. And I'm going to stick with that theory. Even though it says in that Capcom blog that Dario watched his family get eaten by zombies. Actually, let's go to... Oh, I've got it. It's already pulled up. Let me read you Dario's backstory. A citizen of Raccoon City, Dario has been hiding out in a warehouse in Uptown. Sadly, Dario saw things nobody should have to witness when his family was attacked by zombies. So it doesn't say they were killed, it says they were attacked. So maybe his daughter escaped, and we'll have to find her. I don't know. Probably not. And it made him wary of trusting anyone, including Jill. Likely traumatized by what he's experienced, Dario has no intention of trying to escape the city. So he's pretty much decided he's going to die in Raccoon City, I guess. And the article does end with saying, we have much more to share over the next few weeks. So that's cool. Oh, and in terms of Brad, they do keep mentioning that I don't think he's going to be as scared. They're going to try to like turn him around and make him like a hero or something, which I think is dumb. Murphy is a sniper. That's what they say. And he was injured by a zombie. And then Tyrell is a hacker. disabling security. So maybe they have to disable some kind of security system at the RPD. And it says that he and Carlos are partnered together, which kind of makes me think maybe he'll shoot somebody for us. And Nikolai, he's cold and calculating. No matter what the cost, he must complete his mission. He'll do anything it takes. So, yeah, go to Capcom and read those bloggies as well for more cool information. And I would have pulled out the good stuff. There's not really much good stuff, but it's stuff. I was going to read the whole article online, but it's kind of... I already just did that for 2 people, and I kind of got bored. And then let's just quickly take a look back at this map here just to kind of go over it. We've got... There's a UBCS base, which is at the subway station, so that is where we saw them all kind of together. That seems to be their base. Kind of, I would call it their base in the original game at the car too. The entrance is sealed, so maybe you'll, I don't know, have to find somewhere to get that. Dr. Bard, we still don't know anything about Dr. Bard. Kendo, they didn't show anything about Kendo in this trailer. I thought they'd at least show that place where the screenshot was from. And I feel like people just forgot Kendo existed. The last episode we did of this show, it was like 2 hours on Kendo. And I did like 3 videos on it. So I needed a Kendo break anyway. But I would have liked to see him again. And then up here, you've got the electrical station. That we do see a bunch of pictures of the electrical station. Not a bunch, but a couple. Pharmacy, subway offices. Now, the subway offices might replace the newspaper office or maybe just be an extra area. But if you look at the map here, it looks like it's a pretty linear game. It's not like a Grand Theft Auto set up like a grid really or anything like that. And I'm going to show you the electric station, which is back here. Right there. So look, you can see behind Nemesis right there. The power station, and that's looks a lot bigger than maybe the one in the original, but I think it's that same place where the zombie heads pop off. And you can see in the back of this photo as well, there's a bunch of communications towers, and it looks like that might be where the electrical substation is. And it looks like everything is close together just from on the map standpoint. And I don't know, we'll have to be running too far to get to different places, but you can see there's a bunch of... This road's blocked. This road's blocked. And then they only give us the first half of the game. It looks like there's a park and other things up in the top half, and I don't think they showed us anything from the second half of the game. So I think all the trailer stuff is from the beginning. I don't think they're giving too much away, and I have a feeling they're going to show some gameplay here in the next few days. And it's going to be gameplay of walking down the street and some of the things we saw in the trailer. So it might actually give some stuff away, but early stuff, like maybe the helicopter blowing up, something like that. Resident Evil 2 Remake, when that came out with a trailer with Claire, they let the media play the boss fight with Birkin, which is crazy. Couldn't believe they let them do a boss fight. And they played that whole set of cutscenes with Irons as well. So they let them play a big chunk of Resident Evil 2 Remake right there, like giving away the whole kind of little beginning part of it pretty early on in the release. So I would think that they're going to do something like that here as well in the next couple of days. So again, stay tuned for that. This couldn't have come at a worse time. I have so much work to do in my regular job. So I'll probably be up all night tonight doing that, but I had to make sure to cover all this Resident Evil stuff today before I got to that because, I just want to make sure because there's a lot of stuff out there, and if you don't feel like spending like 4 hours like I did researching and freezing things, just follow me on Twitter, and you'll get it all delivered straight to your Twitter machines. And also Facebook and Instagram, Where's Barry B? So any questions? Scoob says, think there will be more costumes? I think so, but that's not something I'm really concerned about. I don't like to use that stuff. I like to play whatever the original stuff is. The costumes that I like are the ones that change the person. So I kind of like the Carlos original costume because it changes him. If there was a Regina, which is the Dino Crisis girl with like red hair, that would be cool because it changes the person. And that's why I was kind of, one of the things I didn't like was that Elza Walker costume didn't make her hair blonde. But again, it's like this, just a small little nitpick. Yes, if you pre-order the game, you get the original costumes, but we're thinking there probably have some more costumes in there. And there's a lot of misinformation spreading about different things. So whenever that happens, I try to get to the source of it and find out what it is. Like with that PlayStation article, find out what's true, what's not true. And yeah, there's been people who have said there's only 3 costumes in it. And I said, well, I didn't see that. I've read every article. So I don't know the answer to that yet. Do I think there'll be microtransactions? I don't think so, but I don't know. They seem to like to give us a lot of cool stuff for free, and then the fans just complain anyway. Like, oh, here's this game called Not a Hero. That's like a mini game inside a game with everybody complain. There's no Resident Evil characters. There's not enough action in Resident Evil 7, so they deliver it, and everyone complains anyway. But I'm excited about Resident Evil 3. I'm excited about maybe some of the things we're going to see this week. I just hope the game can feel bigger. It feels kind of small now, but again, they haven't shown us anything. It's just kind of starting to feel small. Anthony says there better not be a Ghost Survivors. Ghost Survivors is the walkthroughs that I did for the Ghost Survivors, like really was a huge boost for this channel. How many people in the chat right now found this channel because of Ghost Survivors? I'd be curious on that. Because I didn't do YouTube for 7 months, and those games kept the channel alive, basically, while I got my life together, started my company. Yeah, I don't like Ghost Survivors, but there wasn't a time limit, right? If there's not a time limit, I don't mind it quite so much. But yeah, I'll never play Ghost Survivors again, especially not the gas station one. I see myself playing Project Resistance a lot. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be addictive. I don't think it's going to be great gameplay or controls or anything. I just think the online aspect's going to be fun. And then I think because like I might know, the people I'm playing against because I know a lot of you peoples. I think it'll be fun. But Mike, I was actually asked somebody this the other day. When are you going to play Project Resistance? So how are you going to do it? So whatever, April 2nd, you get the game. Then, well, hold on, we got to start with this. You get the game, you put it into PlayStation, and then 6 hours later it downloads and installs, and then you install another update, and then it wants to install another update, and then it won't let you play, and you're like, can I just play this freaking game? So after all that, then what are you going to do? Are you going to beat the game once and then go into Resistance? Are you going to play till you're sick of playing for a day, maybe save it, and then go try a Resistance real quick? How do you think that's going to work? I can see myself beating RE3 like 10 times before playing it. But no, I think I want to try it. You want to try it out. Here's what I think is going to happen. People are going to play Resident Evil 3. They're going to try out Resistance. They're going to be like, they're not going to want to they're not going to play it enough to like get addicted. They're going to play it and they're going to be like, these controls, I'm going to go back to RE3. And then they might never come back. That's the possible downfall of that one. Gil says gonna be RE3, then PR, and I just call it Project Resistance because I refuse to change the name like they did, but technically it's called Resistance. So I do know that what it's really called, but I will never not call it Project Resistance. Yes, Daddy says, I'm going to play it 10 times. Exodia says, looking forward to it, but don't think I'll play it much. Mr. Moore, not going to play it. I got into Friday the 13th. It was really annoying. It took an hour to get into a room. There were so many glitches, and then people found even more glitches, and people just started cheating. But like every time the game ended, I just wanted to play again. And even Umbrella Corps, the multiplayer, there's just something about those multiplayer games that like, one more game, you know? They're so it's just one more, and then you keep playing them. I don't like the claustrophobia of Resistance, so I watched some people do a review of the game. Some big channel, I can't tell you who they are. They didn't like it at all. And one of their problems with it was that everything takes place inside of a room, and you're not in an open space, so you're constantly running into people and running into walls and stuck behind a chair and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of that. That's why Outbreak was similar. It's like you're in this room, and I don't know. Dragon Girl says, do you think they will let you have the old music like they did with Resident Evil 2 Remake? I don't know how many tracks, how many musical tracks are there in Resident Evil 3? I feel like Resident Evil 2 had a big soundtrack. Does Resident Evil 3 have a big soundtrack? I don't usually play with the sound on, so I actually don't even know. Justice Dude said, I played Dead by Daylight, so pretty excited for Resistance. Oh, here's another aspect that I think is fun with those games. I think it's fun to watch other people play online those games. So I watched people play the games where you jump out of the airplane and you're shooting everybody. And I've enjoyed watching that. I don't ever want to play it, but I enjoyed watching it. Like Dead by Daylight, I watch people Friday the 13th. It's fun to watch people play that stuff, maybe even more than it is to play it. So that might be something that makes it interesting. It might be fun to watch, streamers play it, or your friends play it, or people on Twitch or whatevs. Daddy says Resident Evil 3 has the best soundtrack. And then, again, like, I don't know a lot of you guys like know the names of the songs. I don't know the names of the songs. I turn the songs off. I don't have a favorite save room. A lot of you guys know more than me about Resident Evil in terms of the history. And I mean, I played Resident Evil 2 100 times, and then I played Resident Evil 3 for like a month, and then I forgot Resident Evil 2. Like, I just can't retain all this Resident Evil knowledge. It's so much knowledge. I don't know how y'all do it. And I think we pretty much went through all the screenshots and everything too. I didn't have time to go full out, so I probably missed maybe 5 slides. I talked about the stuff I missed. But what do you guys think about the show? Do you like the length? Do you like it to be 2 hours long with 9, 10? Do you guys listen to this like a podcast later? Is it something you have to watch because I show a lot of clips? Do you like the clips? Any feedback you have. I'm trying to make this, trying to figure out how to make this show happen more often, because it gets a lot of audience and people like it a lot, and it lets me just talk about all the stuff I can't fit into videos. So yeah, just trying to find more. So I was gonna do the show last night and talk only a PlayStation magazine, and I ate something and I didn't feel good, and then I didn't, and then so I was like, I'll just do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow happens, and now the whole show gets blown out of proportion. So that part kind of got cut a little short, and then the other thing would be you'd probably want me to schedule it, right? Like Sunday night at 9. And then actually show up at 9. maybe that would be helpful as well. I don't know if I can do that or not. And like today, even I think we were only 6 minutes late, but it just takes like 5 hours to create the show. So I'm like, oh, it'll 6 hours later. I'll just schedule it for 9, and then I'm like looking at the clock. I'm like, how is it almost 9 o'clock? Angel says, do you think you'll have unlimited weapons that you can unlock? A lot of this stuff is like, man, I'm like looking at Resident Evil 2 Remake and trying to figure out they gave us some things, but they didn't give us everything. That was annoying, kind of. Like, I wanted infinite Magnum. I didn't want infinite... What'd they give us? Infinite, some terrible gun. Like, a rocket launcher was fun to shoot Marvin with. And then I was like, okay, like, I would rather have more Magnum bullets and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think they'll give us some unlimited weapons, but I don't know if they'll copy the original game or if they'll kind of do it limited. And, of course, we also
didn't do any of this.
We didn't do any auto-tune during Theory Chat. Yeah, no auto-tune. Sorry, guys. I failed you. Yeah, I'm also, so I play through the game a little bit differently than everybody else. So, last time Capcom sent me the game early for Devil May Cry and for Resident Evil 2, and then they let me stream it before everyone else too. So that's one cool part about this channel. But if I was watching this channel, I wouldn't want to watch it. I would want to play it by myself and beat it first before watching other people play it. So typically when a game comes out, you'd think, oh, that my channel is all Resident Evil. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be 1 million people. It's actually less people because everybody that loves Resident Evil is playing it on their own. And everybody that is a big streamer, they pop in for a week and they go, oh, Resident Evil 3, and they play it for a week. So a lot of the gameplay that I do or did last time was live streaming, and I need to work in more walkthrough videos this time as well, so I'm trying to figure that one out too. Solid Snake says, did you notice Jill's wearing her police badge? Yeah, so our theory is Jill starts the game in her apartment. She's just been suspended by the police department, so they took her gun and they took her badge. So now Jill escapes her apartment, and she needs to find her gun, or she needs to go to the RPD or whatever. So I think a lot of people say Jill's probably not at the RPD because Carlos is there. I disagree. I think Jill's first stop is going to be the RPD, and that's where she's going to try to head first. And I believe she's going to go there looking for her gun and her badge, and she's going to find her badge there. If you played Resident Evil 2 Remake had an item that was a badge with a USB drive on it, and I would think that... Oh, by the way, thanks, Marvin, and thank you, Anthony and Steven. Sorry, that popped up before. And Cyborg Ninja. Forgot. So I think Jill's going to find her badge, and it might even be a use for it, and then I think Kendo's going to give her gun. So yes, I think she finds her badge eventually. And we see where she first meets Carlos in the trailer, but we don't know what the timeline on that one. Yeah, it looks like an artificial heart or something, but maybe you can plug them in to recharge him or add fluids to him or something. Because there's like a tube there too. Yeah, I don't know why Brad would have her badge. Brad might have her gun. But Brad was not in the new trailer. Kendo, not in the new trailer. They did release a new screenshot of Brad, but it was just a picture from the trailer. the first trailer. So Resident Evil 1 happens, right? And they're in the mansion, and they discover all the secrets of Umbrella, and they know Umbrella's bad, and they're doing all this bad stuff. So the STARS team, they're going to report this to the world, to stop it. So first they come back and they tell the police, they're like, oh, Umbrella, and the police are like, don't worry about it, and they're like, what's going on here? Because Umbrella is basically running the police department, running the whole city, running all the businesses. They're like, conspiracy, whatever. So they don't want Jill to tell people. So they, according to the Resident Evil 3 website, which you can go to and click on Jill, she was suspended from the police force, and they basically have her trapped in her house, and they've got people sitting outside watching her and following her and stuff like that, so that she doesn't, I guess, report it to the media or anything like that. So that's what happened. She got suspended for basically looking like she was going to uncover the whole Umbrella thing, because the police don't want the Umbrella thing uncovered, because they are Umbrella, sort of. That's what happened with Ben the reporter in Resident Evil 2 Remake. He was onto the story. So they're trying to shut down anybody who can possibly do anything with the story. It doesn't completely make sense to me, because it makes sense maybe in like a movie world, but in real life you would think they would have killed her. I mean, they freaking created zombie apocalypses. I don't think they'd have a problem with killing her somehow, paying a homeless guy to do it or something, But yeah, the whole STARS team, you think they would want them eliminated as soon as possible, but they all kind of go off and nobody ever knows. I don't know if they describe that in the other lore of the other games and stuff like that. Like, why didn't Chris? Does nobody believe them? Maybe that's it. Just nobody believes them. They're like, Umbrella, what are you kidding me? They're like they won the best company of the year. They're like, they donated $1 billion to charity. You must be out of your mind. And they don't believe them. I guess that's kind of maybe what happened. But still, they had evidence. Well, it said Jill was trying to collect evidence. Oh, and it said Chris was trying to collect evidence in one of the notes in RE3 too, also. So the original. So I don't know. Maybe they were waiting to have the evidence. They didn't have the evidence. They only had the first-hand experience, and they needed to get the evidence. That's what it was. They were probably searching for evidence in order to get it. What's up, Amarok? Thanks for subscribing. And if you guys are headed out, thanks for watching. I'm going to stay here and chat for a while if you want to chat about stuff. Might be deleted from the video that posts tomorrow. Lithium says the evidence was destroyed. Yeah, I kind of walked myself into the solution there. Gamer says Nemesis needs his oil changed. That kind of could make sort of sense. What's up, Soul? Welcome to the Crimson Army. Thanks for subscribing. Check out my I didn't post a video. Oh my gosh, I really should post a video of the highlights of today's show tomorrow. Yeah, I was expecting it tomorrow. Come on, Happy, you gotta listen to the show. This is my third game release. They always do it before the conferences. The only ones they do it at the conference is E3 because those were a surprise, or the release trailer. Those are surprises. But the second trailers, they always do it before a big conference so that there can be some buzz. So it's like trailer buzz, and then gameplay. So we're looking for gameplay on Friday or even tomorrow. And Skater, yeah, it's hard to tell, but I think that they can put choices in the game without making them... I think there could be multiple ways to get to the same ending. So, yes. If they're going to really kind of flow with the original idea, then that would be in there somehow, at least slightly, at least one or two decisions that you make or choices you make. But it wouldn't be like the white screen popping up. Oh, the demo. That's another thing that we could eventually see. The Resident Evil 2 Remake demo came out 2 weeks before release, and it was very successful. According to Capcom, they said it drove a lot of sales. So I would expect them to do a similar thing and release it 2 weeks before and do that, you know, but it's hard to tell because Resident Evil 7 had a very good demo too, and that came out 6-7 months before the game came out. But it had like 3 different things. Man, that was fun, that Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7. Oh, and the Brad zombie. Yeah. See, I don't think Brad's gonna be around to become a zombie. I think he's gonna get blown up or something somehow. Yeah, Resident Evil 7. I had all sorts of what was I gonna say? Oh, calendars. I would write these calendars like September and predict all the different things. Why didn't show the puzzle? I don't know what that means. Raquel says, surprised how long... Yeah, the flamethrower seems to have some range on it. It seemed like Jill like touched a lot of fire in that trailer. And a real person would be burned. Also, if you're a bad person, you can still donate to charity. Like, you know, you can legit earn a good reputation and secretly be bad, I think. But yeah, they would definitely be buying off people too on the way. Yeah, maybe that's why his clothes are kind of melting because he's so hot. I mean, I melted the sticker off my controller because my hands were so hot and sweaty. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you next episode. Check out my Twitter and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah! So, thank y'all for watching. And I'm gonna try to possibly post another video tomorrow, but I really have so much work.
You think that you're right. I know that you're not. Why do you think that I'm better with you? Much better with you. I don't love you more. Love you more. I have let you go. Let you go. This is not for me. This is all for you. It is not my fault.
Bye, Amanda.